Hello students, after a small break, welcome you all back to my YouTube channel. Let's learn commerce with Minoshi Nanayakara. ඔයාලා තාම subscribe කරලා නැත්නම් අපේ channel එක subscribe කරන්න කියලා පොඩි request එකක් කරනවා. Let's learn commerce with Minoshi Nanayakara. Right. අද මම හිතුවා පොඩක් වෙනස් subject එකක් commerce subject එකක් තමයි. But econ ගැන පොඩක් කතා කරමු කියලා. එතකොට economics වල core concepts ටිකක් අද මම ඔයගලන්ට explain කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා මේ video series එකේ. මොකද economics කියන්නේ අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම ලංකාවේ තියෙන හරිම like common ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩාක් ළමයි කරන subject එකක්. මොකද ඒක arts වලට business වලට ඒ වගේම local IGCSE IAL මේ හැමෝටම common subject එකක්. ඒතර මම අද කතා කරන මේ main economic concepts ඕනිම කෙනෙක්ට මේ video එක බලලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට commonly ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ use කරන්න පුළුවන් applications විදිහට ඕනිම exam එකකට. Right. So today we'll see what are the main concepts we are going to talk about in our videos. Right. Okay. So now I thought of started from the one of the main economic concepts we always talk about. That is demand and supply. Right. तर අද අපි කතා කරන්න හදන්නේ demand and supply කියන එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි සිංහලෙන් නම් ඉල්ලුම සැපයීම කියන economics concepts ගැන. Right. මම ඇත්තටම හිතුවා මේක mainly පොඩක් ඔයගලන්ට English සිංහල mix එකකින් explain කරන්න. එතකොට ඕනි කෙනෙක්ට ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න okay වෙන හින්දා. Right. Okay. We'll start with the first one, demand. Right. So demand. We'll see what is demand. Right. When we are going to define the demand define කරනකොට අපි normally කියන්නේ demand is the quantity of goods, right? The consumers or the customers are willing and able to purchase at a given price and in a given period of time, in a specific period of time. So when we are defining the demand, there are some of key terms we have to keep in our mind. Right, now we'll see what are these key points. Now I already explained you some. I just explain the definition, right? So now when we see what are these key terms first. Right, the demand අපි explain කරනකොට demand එක ඇතුලේ we need to talk about these key terms. First thing, demand කියන එක represent කරන්නේ definitely the customer. අපි demand කතා කරන්නේ අපේ customer ගේ side එකෙන්. මොකද අපිට තියෙනවා the second concept. Next we are going to talk about the supply. අපි supply කතා කරන්නේ supplier ගේ side එකෙන්. Right. So then demand customer ගේ side එකෙන් කතා කරන්නේ. So what is this? then අපි demand එක ගැන කියනකොට we anyway have to talk about these key terms. එකක් තමයි the quantity. We are talking about a quantity of goods. Right? Or even the services. It can be quantity of goods and willing and also ability. And another two things are there. That is given price, under a given price and in a specific time period, or we are telling under a given time period. Okay? Right. Now here I have highlighted two things. I have highlighted 5 key terms, right? මේ පහෙනුත් these two key terms are really important. Look at the willingness and ability. Why? Willingness and ability means now we say to to have an effective demand, right? Effective demand එක create වෙන්න definitely there should be a willingness and ability both. Right, I'll give you an example, right? Okay, now willingness means that people should have that desire. I mean they need it. Okay, that is a willingness. And when it comes to the ability, here we talk about the affordability of the people. Now as an example, now as students, there should be a lot of desires, willingness. As an example, sometimes you might think that I want to purchase a new car, or I want to purchase a new mobile phone, or anything like that, right? But then now that means you have that willingness to purchase some item, right? But still as students you don't have the affordability, there's no ability, so then there's no demand creates, right? So to create a demand, these two things should go together. So we are telling those are the the key things there should be to occur a effective demand. So effective demand එක create වෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ කියන ඒවා එකට ආවේ නැත්තම්. And also we talk about a given price under a given price and given time period when we are going to define the demand. Right, I hope like you understood about the demand. Now then අපි market එකේ එක products වලට අපි කියන සමහරවල් demand එක මේ කාලේ වැඩි, demand එක මේ කාලේ අඩුයි. එතකොට දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ මොකක්ද මේ demand එක කියන්නේ කියන එක. ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම create වෙන්නේ customer ගේ side එකෙන්. Right, okay. දැන් එතකොට ඒ concept එකේ main part එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට understood කියලා මම හිතනවා. Right, next අපි බලන්න ඕනේ අපේ ඊළඟ important concept එක when we talk about the demand, the law of demand. So this is called the law of demand. Right, what is this law of demand? Under this law of demand, they talk about like the inverse relationship. Here they talk about an inverse relationship between right, what? Between two variables. The two variables are the price and the quantity. Okay, right. So now what is this? Now it says that, okay, under this law of demand, always there is an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity. That means now in any product, right, when the price is increasing, like the people, okay, reducing the quantity they are purchasing. Why? It's very simple. As customers, then that is expensive for them, right? Their affordability levels are reducing. So when the price is increasing, they are always reducing the quantities they purchase, right? That's the simple theory of the demand. That's the basics. The law of demand, what is like actually, that behind the demand theory. Okay, so what is that relationship? It's a negative relationship. Why it's a negative? Like inverse means negative because this one, when the price increase, this quantity is reducing, right? So that's why we are telling that negative relationship is there. Right, so that means in the other way you can tell when the price is reducing, then people's affordability levels are increasing, so they are going to increase the quantities they are purchasing. But I want to add something here, but actually I'm not going to like explain it in depth because like you cannot understand it like at the beginning, but this sometimes change according to the type of the product. Right, now there are some products. Now here we basically talk about the normal goods, but there are some goods like we are telling that inferior goods and also some other very like luxury goods, like those type of goods are there, right? When we are like talk about those goods, like we have to change some like these things we have to talk about in another way, but here the base of this, you don't need to think about those now. The base of demand law or the simple law of demand says this inverse relationship between the price and the quantity. Right, then the next thing, now next after the law of demand, the next thing we should know is about the demand curve. That is something again very important for us to know, right? That is called the demand curve. Right, now I explained you about this law of demand. No? So when you are drawing this demand curve, you always have to keep this inverse relationship in your mind, right? Because why? That's how it shows here. So this is the graphical representation of the demand, the price and the quantity relationship, right? So when you are drawing this demand curve, you all know that this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis, right? So in your x-axis, we always have to put the quantity, right? So this is quantity, okay? And your y-axis, it represents the price, right? So when you draw the demand, it comes like this, okay? How? We'll see. It's a curve like this. So this is your demand curve, right? So because why here it's represent. Now you can see if I draw these things like this. Now we'll just say, now in this quantity, if we'll see just like if this is 100, right, and if the price is 50, now you can see like under the price of 50, right, people demand 100 numbers of that particular product. We'll say shoes, they are purchasing 100 shoes, right? But what happened when the price is increasing? Now we know the inverse relationship, right? So when the price is increasing according to our law of demand, quantity should decrease. So we'll say in this graphical representation or in our demand curve also, that thing should be there, like it should represent that law of demand, right? So now you can see, now when we increase the price, we'll see, okay, somewhere here it's something like 70, right? So when it's increased up to 70, now you can see your new demand quantity reduced here, right? So now it's again proved that this law of demand we can prove by using this demand curve also. So now you know why demand curve is always like this, because of this negative relationship or the inverse relationship, right? Now I hope you are okay with the main the concepts behind this demand concept, I mean the law of demand and the demand curve. Okay, thank you.